Hi, I'm Helmut Licht. Thank you for joining me in this third video about the force. Our mind is always active, which means we always think about something. Therefore, picture your thinking process as a continuous straight line. Our emotions fluctuate from the ups to the downs, with longer and shorter in-between states. Therefore, think of your emotional line as a wavy line. The hills are the positive emotions, and the valleys the negative ones. The average emotional line is not very evenly spaced. We usually go for a considerable amount of time feeling generally calm, that is to say, neither noticeably happy nor especially sad, unless a major event occurs. A more typical curve might look like this. We have an illness, we get a promotion, and so on. Remembering that thought is creative when combined with an emotion, we only have to see when our emotions are active, either positive or negative, to determine when we are creating for ourselves, good or bad, according to our emotion. Horse sense tells us that by increasing our emotionally positive periods, we accomplish two objectives. One, we crowd out the negative emotions, because when we are happy, we cannot be sad. Two, we create events in the future which will create happy emotions within us again. Since our emotional reaction to a happy event will again be positive, we are actually setting up positive cycles. Since thoughts are seeds, see yourself as a sower, continuously sowing seeds. The ground, which is the force, upon which your seeds fall is dry and hard, except during those times when your emotions are active. Then, besides sowing seeds, you are also watering the ground, thereby softening it and enabling your seeds to penetrate into it, break through the barrier, find nourishment and take root. If the water is contaminated with a negative emotion, then the plant, that is to say, the resulting event, will cause you to feel the same negative emotion all over again. If the water is clean and good, positive emotions, the seed will grow into a healthy plant, an event which will produce positive emotions within you. Besides seeing yourself as a sower, see yourself also as a magnet. We know that an ordinary magnet attracts metal on one end and pushes it away at the other end. We are very sophisticated magnets. Instead of acting only upon metal, we can act upon anything we choose to think about. Our magnetic power does not become active, however, until our emotions become active. If we think about our health and at the same time worry, we turn into a magnet which at one end sends out worried health thoughts and at the other end attracts health worries. For this very reason, you owe it to yourself not to think and feel now what you don't want to think and feel later. And there is yet another way to illustrate all this very nicely. This is a movie camera. An old-fashioned one, but it does the trick. A movie camera records actual occurrence, and then the moment it has recorded that actual occurrence, that occurrence becomes the past. It is recorded onto the film. So the film contains images of the past. A movie projector will take that film, which means those images, and project them onto a screen so people can watch these images again and in a way relive the past. And if that past is happy, then by watching those images, they will feel happy again. If the images were sad, then by watching those images, they will feel sad again. Thoughts can be divided into two categories: active, which means causing, and reactive, which means caused. Active thoughts are those we think without external stimulus. We start them on our own and we control them. Reactive thoughts are those triggered by external stimuli, such as affect our physical senses. Television, music, movies, books, a conversation, and so on. These stimuli tell us what to think. Smoke our brand of cigarettes, drink our liquor, drive our car, watch this show, etc. They also control our emotions, making us laugh, cry, feel angry, or whatever. Reactive thinking is like the leaf in the wind, which has to go wherever the wind blows. Active thinking is the wind, telling all the leaves where to go. There is nothing wrong with reactive thinking. As a matter of fact, our state of being should be made up of both types and alternate between the two. To show you how necessary and normal and alternating between these two is, consider a baseball game. The pitcher is active as he throws the ball, while the batter is reactive as he awaits it. Then the hitter becomes active as he hits the ball toward the reactive outfielder who is waiting for the ball. After catching the ball, the outfielder becomes active, throwing it back toward the infield, etc. Another example is an orchestra. As it plays the music, it is active while the audience is reactive. When the musical selection is over, for things to feel right, the audience must become active by showing its approval or disapproval. At that point, the orchestra becomes reactive, and the applause becomes music to the musician's ears. When wrongly used, television is more conducive to reactive rather than active thinking. By watching some program for 2 hours, our thoughts and feelings are pretty much controlled. Increase this to 6 or 8 hours a day, and we arrive at mental and emotional dependency and slavery. If we want to gain control of our life, our thinking must become less reactive and more active. The bottom line is that if you want to improve your life, you have to lessen the negative emotions and increase the positive ones. Now, usually a thought comes first, like you get a phone call about money that you owe and payments you haven't made. So the thought comes first, and right afterwards, the emotion kicks in. And that's where we have control. We cannot help thinking about the money that we owe, but we can associate immediately a good emotion with it. On the other hand, we can start with a good emotion. And once we feel the good emotion, think about something which needs that good emotion. For instance, if your hands are cold and you run some nice warm water into a bowl, and then you put your hands in there and it feels so good and so nice, well, why waste that emotion on the water in the bowl? Knowing how you're going to feel when you put your hands in there before you do it, quickly think about an area of your life where you would like to experience the same emotion. And then you put your hands in the water and you're associating that area of your life with that wonderful emotion of the warm water. And let it go. You have cemented a thought with a positive emotion, and you have sent it out, and it will create for you and bring to you accordingly. So what are our sources of good emotions? Well, we have the 5 senses. We have sight, a beautiful sunset, a beautiful flower, a beautiful sky, the clouds, anything, hundreds of possible things. Then we have hearing, a beautiful piece of music, some birds chirping, a gentle breeze whispering through the leaves. Again, hundreds of sources. And then we have smell. If you're hungry and you like steaks, whatever, okay? If it smells good to you, that means it's arousing a good emotion within you. Whatever it is that makes you feel good when you smell it. Perfume, cologne, and so on. And then we have tasting. Well, I don't have to go into detail. And then we have touching. We just discussed it with the water. But there are other sources of touch that bring you constantly good emotions. And it is up to you to go through your day and notice when you feel good about something, whether it's through a touch, something you hear, something you see, something you smell, that you notice the good emotion. And then instead of wasting the emotion on whatever is causing the emotion, think quickly about something in your life that needs that positive emotion. Go back to the present source of the good emotion. Go back to the area that needs that and do this 2 or 3 times and then let it go. The force will accept your thought and your emotions because they're combined, and the force will create for you accordingly. It's that simple. It's that simple. Ask for it and ye shall receive. It does not say ask for good and you shall receive. It means both. When you ask for bad, you shall receive too. For instance, if you're listening to a political debate and you can't stand a certain candidate or a certain political figure, and just the thought of that person creates hatred within you and bad feelings, what you're doing is you're allowing that person to come into your own life by creating a bad emotion. And then whatever you think about besides that person, whatever you look around, you might get a phone call from a good friend and you're still tingling with that bad emotion. What are you doing? You're associating your friend with a bad emotion. It's going out, it's bringing back accordingly. So be careful, be selective as to what you allow yourself to see, to hear, to touch, to smell, to taste. Because the bottom line is, whatever it is, if it creates a bad emotion, it's going to make your life worse. If it creates a good emotion, it's going to make your life better. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get something out of it. I have written a little book about the forces with you. It's available on lulu.com. Just search under my name. It's very reasonable and it gives you some more things to think about with respect to the subject of these 3 videos. Have a great day and I wish you a good life.